So I'm going to clean up today, and I'm going to talk about the final 3 initiatives. And you might be thinking, 3 more initiatives, but because we've only gone through 3. Well, unfortunately, we haven't got the last 3 as far along in the task group process and getting those groups going. So I'm going to just talk a little bit about what each initiative is about, and I think we might have some stuff already identified in those initiatives that can address some of the things that we've just been talking about. So we've got 6 initiatives. I'm going to talk about initiatives 3, 4, and 6, and I'll go into what exactly those are a little bit here as I start talking. So Strategic Planning Initiative 3 for Pro. This is about innovation, right? So you could think of innovation as possibly, a new version of a code, a new product that you have out, something else that you're bringing out. What we'd like to see come out of this initiative, what would make it a success, is if we have better and increased acceptance of innovative solutions. People are more accepting of trying something new, using a new product, doing something new. The task group has been formed. It was formed just this fall. Chris Raftery with Raftery Silver LLC is going to be the chair. And members are T.R. Kunish, the members so far anyway, are T.R. Kunish, Terry Harris, Mike Clement, Ben Birch, and Don Davies. Hopefully if any of those people were in the room, they knew that they were on the task group. So this isn't their notice, but a good group there we've got going, and I'm sure Chris will do a great job. So I contacted Chris and asked him to give me his thoughts. They haven't met yet. So just some of the thoughts that he had for things for his task group to consider, kind of what he was going to seed the pot with. So I'll share those with you. We need to make innovation something that's valuable. Everybody on the design team, everybody on the design and construction team needs to value the thought that we're going to innovate on this project, or we're going to take a chance and innovate. Okay? There's a better way out there. Let's find out what that better way is. Right? Let's take some chances. Let's see how things are going. But again, that brings along liability. That brings along risk. Right? You're going to have a hard time convincing me to be innovative on my next project if I'm the one that's left holding the bag when I try something new and it doesn't work. Right? We need to make sure that the reward and the risk are managed properly. Because that innovation is what's going to fuel our productivity increases. If we just keep doing things the same way, we're going to keep getting the same results, right? So we need some innovation to get things going. And make sure that the team is on board, that the team gets incentives, and so the team is willing to put some emphasis behind doing innovations and get behind them. He talked about not only innovating how we do stuff, but the product that we use itself. He sent me several bullet points about that, the innovations for using concrete. We're all going to be facing more changes to our mixtures as the green mixes and the new supplementary cementitious or the new cementitious materials start coming out. We're already facing that. We're going to be looking at all the different things that we can put into our concrete, perhaps more or different types of admixtures or different proportions for use, where and how we produce the concrete, where it's mixed, when it's shipped from the plant to the site. Innovative things like taking off from the plant and mixing it along the way and monitoring some of the drum monitoring technology that they have that can get concrete to the site that's ready to be placed and not have to sit there and adjust the mixes as we're getting ready to go. Forming is always a huge part of productivity. There's possibly some more innovation that we can do there. Same way with placing and possibly even finishing of the concrete. So that's some of the things that he's going to have his task group take a look at and start thinking about. Strategic Planning Initiative number 4. right, is improving collaboration and teamwork. So that's what we've talked about a lot today, is getting people together, getting them talking, getting them all working together on the same team. So this is a big goal. This probably, I'd say, of any of them, maybe has the broadest reach of things that you could talk about. So in order to see this as a success, we want project cost, schedule, and quality to benefit all of the stakeholders for a project. This task group hasn't been formed yet. I don't believe we have a chair yet, but membership is open. We're planning to get that going sometime around the end of this year, beginning of next year. A few of the things that task group might consider, owners need to be aware of the value of collaboration, right? The owner drives lots of things. They're driving the green concrete, low carbon concrete right now. It's the owners that want the project done fast, so that's why schedule is on everybody's mind. That's why it's most important, right? If owners understand and we can demonstrate to them that they get a better product, better, cheaper, faster, whatever metrics they want to use, if we're using a collaborative process, then they're going to start incentivizing that to all the team players. Which will likely, we've talked about it today, greater use of integrated project delivery models. One of the other things I thought that was interesting that we came up, I think this came out during the strategic planning session that we had in Detroit when we were coming up with these initiatives, is we need better leadership, right? If you're on one of the stakeholder teams and the head of that team is not on board with being collaborative with the rest of the group, it's very difficult for any part of that team to be collaborative. So getting better leadership, getting people that buy into this and work hard at making it work and demonstrating to the other people on their team that it works is another initiative we may take on. And then we talked about it before, sharing our success stories, right? Being open about what's working well in the industry so that all of us don't have to figure it out individually. That's a lot of what PRO's about, right? If you think that joining PRO is just going to be giving away all of your secret sauce, then that's not something that's going to be for you, right? But we can make the industry better together, grow the whole pie by sharing some of these success stories. And it's really important. This collaboration idea is really what Section 1 of the constructability blueprint that is about, that we passed around earlier today. Strategic planning initiative number 6 is going to sound probably like a little bit of deja vu. It's adopting productivity enhancing products, tools, and systems. So we actually talked on the board about combining this with the innovation project, but I think the innovation initiative number 3 that I talked about first is more about how we go about doing the design, doing the construction. This one's a little bit more about what we use to do that, right? So the products, the different things that come along that we can use to get the project done faster, more productive. So the outcome we're looking for here is that some of those new technologies, the good technologies, are more readily accepted, that we remove the barriers that we have to people letting us use those on our projects. This task group was formed. There was a kickoff meeting that's going to be held, planning sometime this month. T.R. Kunish with Samro is going to be the chair of that task group, and the members Jeff Save, Scott Berg, David Aiken, and Tarek Khan was just added, I believe, a few days ago. This one I think is, at least the initial ideas are fairly straightforward. Find out what sort of products we have out there or that are coming out that can enhance productivity, and then make people aware of those things that are coming out, the things that work, and then try to find ways to incentivize people to start adopting those. A lot of these new technologies kind of need a critical mass, right? You need to get enough people using them and enough people up and down the chain to start using them to really realize their full potential. And that might be something that Pro can do with advertising those types of products and different systems, and getting more people on board with using them, and then, like I said earlier, removing the barriers. So those are our last 3 initiatives that I have. Unfortunately, I don't think we have any of the task group chairs here with us. Some of them were planning on coming. I got diverted to other priorities by, I imagine, their boss. So they're not able to join us today. But we'll be happy to try and answer any questions about those if you have any questions.
First off, this has been a fantastic session, Crow. I'm so excited to hear all the work, all the questions that are being asked in this space, because it takes more than just the kind of isolated silos that we all work in. So first, with the innovation and acceptance, one of the challenges that I see, I work for Clark Construction now. I came from a structural design background, and then with the self-perform, and now I kind of look at it from the GC side of things, is when we have these new technologies or advancements, how they align with current codes and standards that are adopted by jurisdictions. And to be candid, like looking at ASTM, ACI, IBC, everything along those lines, and even if they're demonstrated to work and that they could improve, getting through those barriers and just the process that it takes to get through those. Is that something that's being considered? And maybe, I don't want to say loopholes, but ways to get these speed to market a little quicker?
I'm sure that's one of the things that they'll be looking at, because obviously that can be a barrier. It can also be a great enhancement, right? If you can get something that specifically says that a product or a system, a type of product is accepted into the code, that works well. It's kind of one of the reasons. I know there are stuff that's not product related, but that's one of the reasons that we try to keep, like, a lot of the codes on an update schedule, is just to keep them up to date with what people are doing, and make sure that those things are accepted. But yeah, that's a great point. Everybody, getting something that's addressed in the code, and so you don't have to go through building officials and argue every time to get it done, is a great benefit.
Mike, can I comment?
Sure.
It's a great issue, big issue, a barrier to innovation, and we got to find a way to help remove some of those barriers. Do you have any suggestions?
I mean, putting me back in the spot, I think it's a good strategy. I think that, thinking like ICC ESS or some other standard that can say, hey, this product does what it's supposed to do, or this material does what it's supposed to do, or this system does what it's supposed to do. And then so we can take it to the engineers, the contractors are on board, the material suppliers are saying, hey, we can achieve this, get to the owners, get to those with the purse strings, or the government who want to achieve sustainability, lower cost, improved efficiency. So how can we, again, get in front of those, and really then think about local governments or jurisdictions? But ICC ESS is something.
I'm convinced you need to be on this task group. Yeah, seriously. Go ahead, Mike.
Do you have an example of a technology that you would like to use?
Yes, go ahead.
Things on NDAs I can't talk about.
An NDA, okay.
Sorry.
So part of that new, which is Center of Excellence for Permanent Neutral Factory, has a validation process where new products can come in and with a third party that would say they do this. The other thing is that the new, I just been 2 weeks ago in Baltimore, we met with 5 government agencies.
Okay.
All had big dollars talking about the GWP issue.
Yeah.
But at this point, the way some dollars start to be released for some research that are slow to make it so that people can do that work.
I think that's also incredibly important, so that we don't have different government agencies, regulating differently, and all of a sudden it's impossible.
Part of what you saw, why the importance of atmosphere, but right now there's
That's right, yeah. Awesome.
A quick comment to your question. Great question. something to be aware of. One of the things we did simultaneous with forming PRO was we formed a constructability review committee for the purpose of reviewing new code language coming out of 318 subcommittees before they go to the main committee and they get inked and they go into the public domain, and then it's hard to change them. The purpose of the constructability review committee is to review the proposed changes to the building code for constructability, so that we want to review them for industry impact. So the people on this committee are a diverse group of folks who understand what the impact will be if these changes are made. They give that advice to 318, and then 318 can use that as they vote on whether to move forward with the change. Because too often in 318, I sat on that committee for about 21 years, wonderful people, all well-intentioned, great group of people. They work very, very hard to do the right thing. But oftentimes they don't have any input from a group like this. And so changes get made, they go into the building code, and they create the trouble that you're alluding to. Because you're trying to propose something new when the building code says, no, you can't do that. In fact, the building code can actually, as it evolves and changes, contribute to the problems we saw up here with these trend lines. You know, the building code contributes to that. So this constructability review committee was set up for the purpose of trying to assist in that and stimulate more innovation and make sure that by the time these things go into the code and the ink dries, that they've been thought about by a diverse group of folks who understand the impact that they will make. Good question, though.
Thank you.
So one other thing I'd add to that is, you know, it's kind of the benefit and one of the reasons that all of the centers of excellence were started at ACI, right? ACI and its committees and its codes, it's all about consensus. Well, consensus, you have to convince everybody on the committee, right? And everybody on the committee who's not directly involved wants to see a few examples, a few case studies. Well, how does this work in a few years? All that kind of stuff. So that process takes a while. That's not what the centers are about. They're not consensus organizations. So PRO can put out, you know, even though it's only 15, 16 months old, probably, you know, we've got a 60, 70 page document that's out now, but it was not voted on by a committee. We did not resolve negatives. We picked good people to look at it and review it, and then we publish it, and if we find problems with it, we'll fix it later, right? So that's just one of the nice benefits of the centers.
Just a question, have you identified innovations for the design and construction part in item 3? I mean, have you designed?
No, I don't even think that group's met yet. So
Okay.
they're just getting started with these initiatives.
Gotcha, okay, thanks.
Great stuff. You'll find all of us here associated with PRO. Corner us, tell us what you're passionate about. I love hearing the questions. And with that, I thank all of our speakers. Thank you for being here. Send me an email if you're passionate about a task group or a constructability issue or a PRO issue. We welcome your input. Thank you.